Okay, children. Very good evening to all of you. Okay, right. So, children, I hope that you are about to start grade 7. Okay, so children, especially grade 7 classes, grade 7 for your next year will be conducted under the old syllabus. Okay, so not just like grade 6, new grade 6, right? So you are now grade 7. You are the last group of the old or previous syllabus. කලින් තිබිච්ච සිලබස් එකේ අන්තිම සිසුන් කණ්ඩායම තමයි ඕගොල්ලෝ පරණ සිලබස් එකේ අන්තිම කට්ටිය. Okay, so children, I got to know that the grade actually grade 6 and not grade 6, all the third term test was cancelled, right? Were cancelled because of the disaster time, right? Okay, so whatever happens, we had better to start grade 7 earlier because there's a amount of content to discuss, right? Because you are going to have your first term tests, right, near to March, right? Okay, so then children, we had better to start this journey from today onwards. Okay, children. So I hope that you are ready with the session. මං හිතනවා ඔයගොල්ලන් session එකත් එක්ක ලෑස්ති කියලා, right? Okay, so children, we have to start our discussion from the first lesson, which is called as plant diversity. Plant diversity. Okay, right. So children, this is the first maths lesson of grade 7. Okay, right. So children, I hope that you may already printed your tute, right? So we sent it through WhatsApp because of the disaster time and the roads also broken, right? So then we thought to send those soft copies through WhatsApp because of these problems also, right? So then we can get rid of from the problems that we had. Okay, right. එක ගැටලු සහගත තත්ත්වයක් තිබිච්ච නිසා අපි ඔබලන් ඔයාලගේ ටියුට් එක අපි WhatsApp තුලින් එවුවා. එතකොට ඒක print out එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඇති කියලා මම හිතනවා. Right? Okay. So children, if there are any friends who wish to join with us, right? So you can inform about our class and then ask to join with the class because we are going to start this grade 7 very earlier, not very earlier. We have to manage the time with the time period that we have. Okay, right, children. So now all the advertisements finish. Whether than we were avasanai, right? Okay. So then we'll start our discussion now. Okay, අපි එහෙනම් දැන් අපේ discussion එක පටන් ගමු, right? Okay. So children, now plant diversity. First of all, let's discuss what is called as diversity. Children, as you think, just tell me. Even in Sinhala also, that's okay. But I'm encouraging you to explain it in English. What is called as diversity? Differences. Very good. Right?
Then specific thing we are dividing.
Good. Very good. Right? So here, plant diversity. So now, can anybody explain what is plant diversity? What is plant diversity?
The differences between several plants.
Yes, differences, right? Differences among plants, right? Simply, that's what the meaning of plant diversity. Shaka vividatva, right? Okay, so children, we are going to study now plant diversity lesson. Okay, right. Okay, so let's move. Okay, all right. Right. Okay. So I hope that you can see my screen. I hope that you can see my screen. Children, what you can see in my screen? Okay. So here I have mentioned, right? This is kind of introduction for this lesson, plant diversity, right? So in this lesson, we are going to study the morphological features of the plants. Morphological features of the plants. Children, what is the meaning of the word or the term morphological features? Can anybody define? I'm encouraging you to get the answer from your side. What is called as morphological features?
Parts.
Morphology. What's that?
It's parts that.
Good. The structural features. Structural features, right? My hand, my head. These are the morphological features of mine. What you can see by your naked eye, right? And sometimes using an aided eye also we can observe these features. ව්‍යුහාත්මක ලක්ෂණ. එකී ව්‍යුහය තුල තියෙන ලක්ෂණ. Morphological features, right? So, children, what are the features of plants? What do you think? What are the things that you can see in the plants?
Movement, growth.
Okay, morphological features. Morphological features means what?
Leaves,
Good. Good.
flowers,
Yes.
wood,
Yes. Good.
fruit,
Good. Right? Morphological features means what you can observe in the structure. Right? Okay. What you can observe in the structure. අපිට ව්‍යුහේ බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් දේවල්. Morphological features. And children, under this lesson, we are going to discuss about the main parts of flowering plant. The main parts of a flowering plant, right? Main parts. So then, this is our next part, right? So then, we are going to discuss diversity of the parts of flowering plants, right? Under this lesson, we are going to discuss morphological features of the plants, and then we are going to discuss the main parts of a flowering plants, මල් පිපෙන ශාකවල ප්‍රධාන කොටස්. The third one, we are going to discuss the differences between the parts of a flowering plant, right? මල් පිපෙන ශාකවල කොටස්වල වෙනස්කම්, right? And then we are going to discuss monocotyledonous and dicotyledonous plants. Monocot plants and dicot plants. Children, have you ever heard about monocotyledonous plants and dicotyledonous plants? What do you think? Have you heard anywhere?
flowering plants.
Okay. Right. We'll discuss these things, right? Under this lesson, we are going to discuss these four main topics, right? මේ පාඩම යටතේ අපි කතා කරන්න යන්නේ මේ කියන ප්‍රධාන කොටස් හතර, right? Morphological features, and then the main parts of a flowering plants. What are the differences between the parts of flowering plant? And then monocotyledonous plants and dicotyledonous plants. Okay, so children, are you ready with the session? කට්ටිය ලෑස්තිද?
Yes.
Okay, right. Okay. Asala and Nikini is ready. Okay, I can see them. Okay. Right, children. So then we'll start our journey then. Children, now have a look about this diagram, right? So here, children, this diagram I have put to understand the plant diversity, right? What are the basic functions of these, right? So then, why plant diversity is important to us? Children, let's have kind of a discussion session. අපි චුට්ටක් කතා කරමු, discuss කරමු, right? Let's have an idea about this plant diversity and importance of that. Okay? Right. So here children, basically we have to study complexity of the form. Complexity of the form means how the leaves arranged, how the roots arranged, how seeds are forming, right? And how the flowers are occurring in plants, right? Likewise, complexity of the form, right? So that is structure. And then ecosystem functions. Ecosystem means children, what is called as an ecosystem? What is called as ecosystem? Parisara paddhati. Ecosystem. As you think, just tell me.
The surrounding
Ecosystem means
Our
Parisara.
environment.
The environment.
The
The balance of the environment.
okay. Right. Good. Good. Ecosystem means all the living things, non-living things, and the interactions of the environmental system or environment. All the living things, non-living things, and the interactions. जीवी अजीवी सह एवा अतर संबंधतावन ही एकतु, which is called as ecosystem, right? Ecosystem includes living things, non-living things, and the interactions. Okay, right. So then children, ecosystem functions, right? So children, what are the biological functions that you know? What are the biological functions that you know? ජීව විද්‍යාත්මක කාර්ය මේවා ඇතුළේ වෙන.
Photosynthesis.
Yes. Respiration. Good. What you can see?
Growth.
Transpiration. Transpiration means water vapor removed out from the plants, right? Okay. So then respiration, transpiration, photosynthesis, right? So these are the ecosystem functions, right? Okay. Global importance, right? So for what we need plants, children? Can anybody tell?
For
For
food.
what we need plants?
For
For
food,
food අපිට plants ඕනේ.
For oxygen.
food, for medicine, for oxygen.
For
Yes.
respiration.
Yes.
For getting vegetables and fruits, for getting oxygen.
Yes. To get oxygen, to get medicines, to get food. Yes.
To get furniture. The environment.
Yes. Climate regulation, right? And then to get resins. Okay,
Furniture.
for the industries. Yes. Good. Now we have kind of a slight idea. Chuti idea එකක් තියෙනවනේ. You have a slight idea about this
Teacher.
plant diversity and the things. Yes.
For beautifying the environment.
Good. To beautify the environment. Yes. Okay. Right. Here we go then. අපි එහෙනම් කතා කළා චුට්ටක්. Right. We got a step for this lesson. Okay. Right. Okay. So children, first of all, you have an activity. First of all, you have an activity. Okay. So I hope that you have the printed tute also. Okay. Right. Right. So children, first of all, I'll give you kind of an activity, right? Turn to the page number 2. Turn to the page number 2. Right? Okay. So children, this is kind of an activity. In this lesson, there are a lot of field activities. Field activities. Right? Kshetra Kriyakarka. Field activities. You have to go into the field and then you have to study what are the things. What are the plants around you, right? Okay, so children, using your knowledge, thinking about your garden, right? Please fill this 2 tables, right? I'll give you 2-3 minutes. Page number 2. Please fill this 2 table, right? This is right. Tabulate this table, right? මුලින්ම ඔයාලා මේක කරන්න. Plant which bear flowers means plants which have flowers. Bear means දරනවා. මල් දරනවා. අට ගන්න. Bear. Okay, right. So here I'm writing like this. Bear. හට ගන්න කියලා ලියන්න. Okay. Right. So plants which bear flowers, plants which do not bear flowers. Right. Quickly do this activity. Minute to දෙකෙන් fill කරන්න බලන්න. Field activity. Okay. Okay, children, if you need kind of an aid, ප්‍රථමාධාරය, first aid නෙමෙයි, හරිද? Okay, if you need an aid, උදව්වක් ඕන නම් you can use this diagram to fill your table. Okay, you can use this diagram to fill your table, right? ඔන්න මම චුට්ටක් උදව් කළා. Okay, children? Oh, still writing? Are you okay? Shall we discuss then? අපි කතා කරමුද?
Okay, madam.
Okay, right. So I hope that you are ready, right? Okay. So children, this is the diagram that I have extracted from your textbook also, right? Okay, I have taken this from our textbooks. Okay, right. So children, now let's discuss. Okay, so don't write anything now. Right? Stop writing. අපි චුට්ටක් කතා කරමු මේ මල් ගැන. We'll discuss more about these flowers and these plants. Okay? Right. So children, here you can see water lily. What is water lily? Right? Water lily means? Sorry?
Olu.
Okay. Yes, olive. You can see this plant in aquatic environment. Aquatic environment, and this is flowering plant. Okay? Right. Children, and this is moss. Right? This is moss. Children, these mosses, we cannot see any flowers, mosses, passing, mosses, right? So here children, we cannot see any formation of the branches in the plant, and we cannot see exact roots also, right? So that is also type of a very primitive type of plant. Primitive. Prathamika avadhiya, right? So children, these mosses formed earlier stages of the earth. Earlier stages of the earth, right? So in the evolution of the earth, these are the plants, right? Earlierly evolved. මෙයාව තමයි පෘථිවියේ පරිණාමික අවධියේ මුලින්ම දකින්න ලැබිච්ච ශාක, right? So these are type of very primitive type of plants, right? We cannot see any deviation or any division of the branches, fruits, flowers also, right? Okay. So next one is sal, right? You know sal, right? You may have heard about sal, right? So here, this is forming kind of a flower which produce nice aroma, right? Nice aroma and fragrance, right? So that is also a flowering plant. Next one is lotus. Lotus, right? You know, this also we can find in aquatic environments, right? So you can see flowers beared by that plant. Here, children, this is cycas, right? So this is cycas. Children, keep it in your mind. Cycas in Sinhala we called it as madu. Madu, right? Madu shakad. Okay, cycas, madu. Children, we cannot see any flower in this cycas plant. Okay, so children, we use this one as an ornamental plant. Ornamental plant, right? Ornamental plant. So what is ornamental plant? You know, sometimes we are keeping, right, some plants as flower pots, not flower pots, right? To beautify the environment, we are keeping some leafy type of plants, right? පොඩ්ඩක් අපි ලස්සනට මේක වතු වල වගා කරලා තියෙනවා, right? So but it does not bear flowers. It does not bear flowers. Okay, right. So here this is cycas. Shoe flower, you know, red in color. Okay, long bean. Children, long bean flower, we can see there's a purple color in this long bean. Okay, man color. Okay, right. So here next one is curry leaves. Children, what is curry leaves? Have you seen the flowers of curry leaves? කරපිච්චමල් දැකලා තියෙනවද? Have you seen the flowers of curry leaves?
No.
No. Okay. Are there anyone? No. If you carefully observe curry leaf tree, white colored small flower is beared by these curry leaves. Okay. සුදු පාට චූටි මලක් පේනෝනේ. Okay, right. So here children, next one is drying area. Drying area, another word we called it as beduru. Beduru, right? So children, drying area is growing on the other plant. Other plant, right? The species of drying area is growing on other plants, right? So here children, these are called as epiphytes. Epiphytes. Epiphytes means epiphytes. Epiphytes are growing on other plants, right? Apishaka. Gahak udda gahak. Okay. Epiphytes means these plants are growing on another plant. Another plant. Okay. So drying area or beduru also not bearing flowers. Okay. Right.
Teacher, is
Next
that
one,
like
Katarolu.
creeper?
Yes. Do you have problem?
Teacher, you told that plant is growing on another plant. Is that a creeper?
Sorry.
Is that a creeper?
It is not kind of a creeper, right? Creeper is attached. The roots are attaching and going, Here, all together, this plant is, all the body of the plant is lying on the stems or other host plant. ධාරක ශාකය මෙම අල්ලගෙන වගේ උඩට යනවා සියලුම කොටස් වලින්. Okay, so not only roots are touching, beetle and pepper. Roots are coming from the stem and then these are going to touch with the host stem or the stick that they have, right? But here Bedru, all the plant body is touching other host plant body. Okay, right. Did you get it there? මුළු ශාකයි විසින්ම ඒක අල්ලගෙන තමයි වැවෙන්නේ උඩට යන්නේ. Okay, did you get it?
Okay, teacher.
Yes, okay. කටරොළු. Yes.
Teacher, the cycas has fruits, no?
Sorry? Cycas has fruits? Okay? No, never. Cycas does not bear fruits. Only seeds beared by cycas. Right? Okay. මඩු ශාකය කිසිම දවසක ඵලයක් හදන්නේ නැහැ. Cycas plants don't produce fruits, right? We can see only seeds, naked seeds, right? Naked seeds, right? Okay. හරියට නිකන් සේරම open වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. Not covered by the fruity structure, right? All the structures exposed into outside environment. Exposed to outside environment, all the seeds. Not covered by the fruity cover. Children, rambutan, right? Guava. These fruits and the seeds are covered by fruity structure, mango. නේද? seed එක වටේට fruity structure එකක් තියෙනවා mango වල. guava වලත් එහෙමයි. But cycas, seeds are very large, exposed to environment. Right? Okay. නේද? ලැජ්ජාවක් නැහැ වගේ නේද? Okay. නේද? සේරම එළියට දාගෙන ඉන්නේ. Not covered by the fruity cover. Okay. Cycas never don't bear flowers. Okay. Flowers, fruits, no. Okay. Only the seeds. Okay. So here, Hatarolu. Hatarolu, there's a beautiful flower, blue in color. Jasmine. Jasmine also produce very nice fragrance and it forms kind of a white colored flower. Cypress. Cypress. Children, now we are about to step into our Christmas season, right? In preparation of Christmas trees, we are using cypress plants. Okay, cypress. Okay. Next one is coconut. Children, have you seen coconut flowers? Have you seen coconut flowers?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. What is the color of coconut flower?
Yellow color.
Yellow color. Some students are thinking that no flowers for coconut. පොල් වලට මලක් නැහැ. ඇයි යන්නේ පොල් මල? Right? Okay. So most of the places when we are starting a good work, we are hanging coconut flower. Okay, right? So in the weddings, have you seen, right? Two sides of the porua we have seen. Yes, coconut flowers, right? Bunch of coconut flower. Pol mal dekak dala tiyena. Okay, so each and every good place, right? Actually we use coconut flowers. Children, it is not good for the plant, right? අපි පොල් මල් ටික ගලව ගත්තාම ගහට හොඳ නැහැ, right? Okay. Actually, the plant cannot do the reproduction, right? Okay, so because of that, productivity go down, right? Okay, so then the number of coconuts produced during the season reduce. Okay, පොල් මල් කැපුවාම අපිට ඇත්තටම හොඳ ඵලදාවක් ගන්න අමාරුයි because the plant cannot do the reproduction. Okay, Salvinia. Salvinia also kind of an aquatic plant and it is floating on the water sometimes once after uprooted, and here this is aquatic plant. It also do not bear flowers. Okay, it does not bear flowers. Okay, right. Roses, rose produce flowers. Fern. Children, have you seen ferns? Ferns.
Madam,
In decorations we use.
Teacher.
Yes, when you are preparing playhouses, or constructing playhouses in your house, right? You are using these ferns as curry leaves. සෙල්ලම් ගෙදර සෙල්ලම් බත්තු යද්දී මෙන්න මේවා කඩාගෙන එනවා curry leaves ටික කඩාගන්න බැරි හින්දා. නේද? කරපිංච කඩාගන්න බෑනේ අම්මගෙන් නේද අපිට. So due to that, as an alternative, we use ferns as curry leaves in our playhouses. සෙල්ලම් ගෙවල් වලදී අපි ඉස්සර සෙල්ලම් කරන්නේ කරපිංච වෙනුවට අපි බත් වියනවනේ ඒකෙදි නේද? Ferns use karna. Okay, සෙල්ලම් ගෙවල් වලදී හොඳේ? Right. Okay. So here children, fern also doesn't bear any flower, right? After this Moses, these ferns are the type of plants evolved on the earth. Okay. මේ පාසි වලට පස්සේ ඊළඟට development වෙච්ච ශාක වර්ගය තමයි ferns. Ferns in Sinhala we called it as meevana. Okay, right. So children, you may have seen these plants and there are some pores under leaves of these fern plants. Okay. මේ plant එකේ leaves යට තියෙනවා දුඹුරු පාටට පොඩි බීජාණු, right? Under the right underside of this leaves of the fern, we can see brown colored spores. Okay. Here it does not bear flowers. It also bears flowers, no fragrance. Gardenia is kind of a flowering plant. It bears white colored flower with a nice fragrance, nice smell. Okay. Next one, balsam, right? And this balsam having kind of a tender Stem. Tender means
Lapati.
yes, actually, right? Not having rough tissues. Okay. Fleshy tissues are there. Harima mrudu pataka තියෙන්නේ. Okay. Tender leaves and tender stems. Harima lapati mrudu fleshy. Right? So children in Sinhala we call it as kudalu, balsam. So these plants also bearing flowers and also we can see some seeds also. Right? Okay. So children, I hope that now you have the idea about what are flowering plants and what are non-flowering plants. But we didn't use those terms. Okay. We only observed what are the plants bear flowers, what are the plants do not bear flowers. Okay. So did you all get it? Oh, so then we move with the next. Okay, right. Now, I think you can get the idea. I have listed down what are the plants bear flowers. What are the plants bear flowers? ඔයාලගේ table එකට දාගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න මම මේ දෙක දෙකට වෙන් කරලා. Plants which do not bear flowers, right? So here you can see water lily. In our list, we had water lily. Okay, right. So then we had sal, right? Sal. Next one is lotus, right? මේ ඔයාලට මතක නම් මෙන්න මේකට ඔයාලා කියලා නැති ඒවා තියෙනවා නම් දැන් දාගන්න පුළුවන්. If you have not added, right? You can see now this chart, right? Now I have demonstrated what are the plants bear flowers and what are plants which do not bear flowers. Okay? Water lily, sal, lotus, shoe flower, long bean, curry leaves. I told you white colored small flower is there. Katarolu, coconut, rose, ether, gardenia, balsam. Right? Balsam. Okay. So these are the plants which bear flowers from our list. Right? Okay. So here children, plants which do not bear flowers, moss in Sinhala we called it as Pasi, right? And then children, these mosses don't have deviated branches, roots, flowers, right? So you know children, most of the places where water is collected, we can see these mosses, right? Okay. So now cycas do not bear flowers, but seeds bear, right? මල් නැහැ නමුත් බීජ තියෙනවා. Okay. But here we discussing plants which do not bear flowers, no? So then cycas we can add. Dry area, I told you, type of epiphyte, we can include it into plants which do not bear flowers. Cypress, I told you, Christmas trees, for the preparation of Christmas trees we use. Salvinia, that is type of aquatic plant. Here ferns, Nivana or Parnanga in Sinhala. These are also, I hope that according to this diagram, you may have seen these ferns in your area. Right? Okay. Now check whether you have included these things into your table. Check whether you have tabulated these answers into your table.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
Does snail leaf bear flowers?
Sorry?
Does Nelly bear flowers?
So I couldn't hear, dear.
Does Nelly bear flowers?
So can you put that name into the chat? I couldn't identify.
Does Nelly bear flowers?
Nelly.
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Nelly bear flowers. Yes, definitely. Nelly bear flowers. Okay, children. Finish? Did you note what you have missed? Okay? Use red pens to make your mistakes. This time is very good to you, no? Right? You had a long vacation. Right? Okay. Right. So then I think we had better to now move with the next. Are you ready, children? All last there?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Right. So children now, turn to the page number 3. Okay. Now you can see nice table, children. Okay. Classification of plants. First of all, we'll identify what is the meaning of classification. Can anybody tell what is called as classification? What is called as classification?
Teachers වර්ග කිරීම.
Good. Classification means according to the common features, we are grouping organisms. We group organisms according to the special features, right? According to the special features, we classify organisms. Okay, children. So here, children, classification means grouping. Grouping. Okay, right. Plants can be broadly classified. Broadly classified into 2 categories. 2 categories, right? 2 groups based on their ability to produce flowers. Ability to produce flowers. Plants can be divided into 2 groups. There are 2 groups according to the bearing of flowers. Okay, children. Now, these are the 2 main groups of plants according to the bearing flowers. Right? So now you can see, children, flowering plants and non-flowering plants. Children, don't misunderstood about this diagram. Right? This diagram I have used, right? Commonly, plants which bearing flowers to show it. Okay, to show that plants which bearing flowers is called as flowering plants. Okay, that's why I use this diagram to show you. Okay, so here children you can see sunflower. Okay, sunflower is a plant which bear flowers. Mango. Children, have you seen flower of mangoes? Have you seen?
Yes, madam.
Yes. What is the color of mango flower?
Yellow
What is the
color.
color of mango flower?
Yellow color. No color. A light color of yellow.
Good. Have you seen? Right? Okay. Yes. Whitish yellow, no? Right. Okay. Okay. So, children, this is water lily, olive, or otherwise, right? So, children, but these are the main 2 groups of plants. This is flowering plants and non-flowering plants. Non-flowering plants. Children, have you seen this kind of plant in your place or in your garden? Have you seen this kind of plant?
Yes, madam.
Yes, very
Yes.
good. So children, have you touched the underlying surface of these leaves? Have you touched the right? So have you seen there are brown color small particles are there under the leaves of this plant. Have you seen?
Yes,
When you are touching, there's a brown color granule-like particles are there underside of the leaves. Underside of the leaves. These are called as spores. Spores. In Sinhala we call it as bijanu. Spores. Right? Spores. Children, this plant also not bear flowers. Okay. So here you can see here finus also not bearing flowers. Right? Here this is mosses. Right? And here this is salvinia. Right? These are not bearing flowers. Okay? Children, now for your easiness to study, it has mentioned flowering plants produce flowers for reproduction. Okay? Produce flowers for reproduction. Okay? So here children, most of the flowering plants, right? Fruits formation we can see. Most of the flowering plants, we can see the fruit formation, right? But not in floricultural plants. Floriculture means we are growing that plants for flowers. Okay, දැන් වතු සුද්ධ ගස් වලින් ගෙඩි එන්නේ නැහැ. එහෙම නේද? Ne, right? So likewise children, not all the flower bearing plants having fruits, but some plants are there, flower converted to fruits. Mango, rambutan, jack, likewise. Okay, right. Rose, sunflower, mango, coconut, lotus are the example for this flowering plants. Flowering plants means plants bear flowers. Okay. Non-flowering plants means plants do not bear flowers, right? Do not produce flowers. They produce their spores or cones, right? Spores means children, bijanu, right? Spores, very small granular shape structure. Cone means children. Have you seen in cypress? Not cypress, right? Finest plants. Or have you seen in finest trees? There are cone shaped structures, specially used for reproduction. Okay? Right. So here example ferns, mosses, conifers like pine. Here you can see pine. If you are living near to Nuwara, right? Bandaravela, right? In some areas of Ratnapura, we can see these pine trees. Okay? Algae and fungi, right? So here, algae and fungi, we cannot get it as plants, right? Okay, so we'll cut down it. We cannot get those. Okay? So here, ferns, meavana, mosses, parsley, conifers, like pines, right? We can see as non-flowering plants. Okay? Right. So children, in the page number 3, in the page number 3 of your tute, okay? If you have the tube, you can turn it. Okay, right. So here, now turn to the page number 3. In page number 3, yeah, I have mentioned, right, 1 and 2. Under the classification of plants, I have mentioned number 1 and number 2. Please write, first one is flowering plant, second one is non-flowering plant. Right? Anka eka flowering plants, anka deka non-flowering plants, children. Okay? In the page number 3, under the classification of plants, the major group of plants according to the ability of bearing flowers. Flowering and non-flowering.
Done, teacher.
Done. Okay. Right. So then we'll move with the next. Okay. Are you ready? Are you okay? Are you there, mother? Did you understand?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Okay, good. Right. Flowering plants, children. Now we are going to define what are called as flowering plants. Okay. So let's write down the definition of flowering plants. Flowering plants in Sinhala we call it as Sapushpa Shaka. Pushpadharana Shaka. Flowering plants. Plants which bear flowers. Okay. Now you can write down the definition of flowering plants. Plants. Plants which bear flowers. Plants which bear flowers. Right? In the page number 3, I have mentioned space for that. Called as, we'll write down like that also. Flowering plants. Children, you know what are the examples for flowering plants, right? Example, rose, rose, right? Sunflower, coconut. Sometimes some students, right, does not like to identify coconut is a flowering plant. සමහර වෙලාවට සමහර ළමයි හරි කම්මැලි කොකනට් වල මල් තියනවා කියලා පිළිගන්න. නිකන් නෑ වගේම හිතනවනේ. Right? Okay. Sometimes at the end of the grade 7 term test, I understand that some of the students are still thinking that coconut is non-flowering plant. Not. Coconut is a flowering plant and there are lot of uses of that also. Okay? Right. So here we can identify, Khatarolu. Khatarolu. Water lily. water lily, lotus, lotus, right? And areca nut, areca nut. What is areca nut, children?
Kuak.
Yes, very good. Areca nut, right? So you know for chewing with beetles, we use areca nut. Bulat ekka puwak kapanne. Likewise, okay? Balsam, balsam, koodalu. Idda, idda. Okay, children. I hope that you have noted. Ready? Finish?
Done,
Yes,
teacher.
madam.
Okay, right. Thank you for your response. All right. Non-flowering plants. Non-flowering plants. So here you can see, according to my diagrams that I have mentioned, right? I have mentioned what are the non-flowering plants. Plants which do not bear flowers. Plants which do not bear flowers. Bear flowers. Okay, are called as non-flowering plants. Okay, right. So now you can identify this plant as ferns. 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 Parnanga in Sinhala, right? Parnanga in Sinhala. Here, Moses. Moses. Right? Or moss. Here, pine. 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 Okay. We can write down extra plants. Cycas. Cycas. Beduru, Beduru. Likewise. Children, why I underline the name cycas? Cycas is the scientific name for that plant. අපි මේක italics. We have to use italics, or else if you use English, right, we have to underline that the name of the relevant plant. Okay, right? So then children, cycas is the scientific name of that plant. මඩුශාකයේ විද්‍යාත්මක නාමය නිසා cycas කියලා කියන නිසා අපි English යකුන් පාවිච්චි කරනවා නම් ඒ නමයටින් ඉරක් අදිනවා, or else we have to use italics. Okay, in the nomenclature this is kind of a rule. නාමකරණය විද්‍යාත්මක නම් නාමකරණය කරනකොට scientific nomenclature of the names of the plants in botanics, right, we underline or use italics. Okay, විද්‍යාත්මක නාමයක් නිසා තමයි අපි මේක underline කරන්නේ. අනිත් ඒවා underline කරලා නැහැ. බේදුරු we mention under the inverted commas because that is the name we usually use, right, in day-to-day lives, right? So if you are mentioning Nilkatarolu, that is our Sinhala name, no? We are mentioning it using inverted commas.
Done, teacher.
Okay, done.
Finish, teacher. Yes, teacher.
Okay, right. So children, I missed something. This structure, this mosaic structure, in other words, we called it as thallus. Thallus. Thallus means, children, no deviation. No deviation for branches, flowers, or roots. Likewise, no organized plant structure for this moss, right? They just lying on the aquatic or moisture related areas, right? Near to the wells. දැකලා තියෙනවද නිකන් ඔය ලින්ක් නැත්නම් ලින්ක් කිට්ටුව දැකලා තියෙනවද? පොඩි ගොඩැල්ලක් වගේ හැදිලා තියෙනවා. ඒක උඩ චුටි චුටි කොළ තියෙනවා. Have you seen very primitive type of small leaves like structures come out, right? So no branches, roots, fruits, anything. Okay, so this is kind of a primitive type of plant, moss. This is the plant or the group of plants which have come to the world in the evolution and the development of the plant. මේ පෘථිවියේ පරිණාමික අවධියේදී මෙයාලා තමයි මුලින්ම පෘථිවිය දකින්න පුළුවන් වෙච්ච plants කියලා කියනවා. The mosses are the first most plants appeared on the earth in the evolution of the earth. Okay, right. Wait, children. Okay. Right. Now, children, we are going to discuss main parts of a flowering plant. Turn to the page number 4. Children, in this lesson, we don't have much of the scientific experiments to discuss, right? So, we have the field works. How we can prepare field work and related book and field activity book, Likewise. ක්ෂේත්‍ර අධ්‍යයන තමයි මේ පාඩමේ තියෙන්නේ. Only 1 or 2 experiments are there. Okay? Right. So children, main parts of a flowering plant. If you turn to the page number 4 of your tute, if you turn page number 4 of your tute, you can see, right? I have mentioned kind of a diagram, right? I have mentioned kind of a diagram, right? Okay, so then children, now I am going to discuss. First of all, I'm going to get the answer from your side. What are the parts of a plant? Can you tell me what are the parts of a plant?
Leaf,
Stem.
Okay. Okay, good. Right. Now I'm writing the things that you mentioned. Okay? Right. Flowers. Okay. Fruits. Right? Here, what is this? Stem. Okay. Leaves. Branches. Right? Children, what are these other things? Have you seen?
Yes, madam.
Right. What is this one, children?
Shoot. The shoot.
Are there any other terms that you know?
Bud.
Bud.
Fruit.
Yes. Right? That is bud. Bud. Right? Ankuraya. Bud. Right? So here children, this is called as apical bud. This is the uppermost point of this plant. Okay? Uppermost point. ඉහළින්ම තියෙන bud එක. Right? ඉහළින්ම තියෙන point එක කියන්නත් පුළුවන්. Okay? So children, this is called as apical bud. In Sinhala we call it as agrastha ankuran. කෙළවරේම තියෙන. Apical bud. Okay? Right, okay. Wait. Children, this is also type of a bud. Here. Those are called as lateral buds. Lateral or axillary buds. Lateral. Here this is apical bud. Only it has one apical bud, but there are more lateral buds, right? At the place where branches are fixing into the stem. Okay, very small lateral bud, right? So in Sinhala we call it as Parshavika Ankuran, right? Apical bud only one is there, but there are more lateral buds, right? Okay. Here I am writing that. Lateral buds. Right? Okay, so in other words, it's called as axillary buds also. Right? Axillary buds. Okay. In other words. Right. So here children, this is main root. There's a long main root which is penetrating soil. right? So that main root is called as taproot. In Sinhala we called it as mudunmula. Taproot, that is the main root evolving from the plant and penetrates. Penetrates means going down, right? Okay. And then here from these taproots, right, there are small roots evolving from this main root, right? Small roots are evolving from main roots. So these are called as lateral roots. Lateral roots, right?
Madam,
Apical bud. Here, apical bud, that is the bud which is located in uppermost place of the plum. Okay? Right.
madam,
Yes.
for lateral buds, there is L missing for lateral. The last letter.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Lateral roots. Right? There are lot of roots coming from these tap roots. Okay? Now you can quickly note down what are these main parts of your diagram. Lateral roots in Sinhala we call it as Parshavika. Right? These are coming out from this taproot, but not much larger than the taproot. Okay. So horizontally, right? These are coming out or evolving. Okay. Here lateral buds we can see at the places where branches form. Okay. Lateral buds.
Teacher, I have done my work.
Okay, right. So are there any other students who are doing? So here children, we will write down this name for these lateral bars, right? Axillary buds. Axillary buds. That is kind of a synonym. Synonym. Samana padaya. Okay? කක්ෂීය අංකුර කියලා කියනවා in Sinhala. Right? Children, you all done? Finish? Or
Yes,
still
madam.
writing?
Finish, madam.
Okay, you need more time. Are there any students need more time? ඕනියා ඉන්නවද? Right, okay. So I hope that you all done. Right, let's move with the next. Okay, right. So children, why these parts are needed for the plants? Why these plants parts need? Why the plants need these parts? Right?
Survival, for reproduction.
Okay, good. Right. So here children, you know we have head, right? We have hands, right? We have stomach, right? We have legs, right? So likewise children, plants also having parts, right? Like we discussed in our previous slide, we observed that there are a lot of morphological features with the parts of the plant. So here children, what these parts are essential for? Essential means why need these parts for the plants, right? So here children, basically for the nutrition, right? Or the nutrient absorption, poshaka avashoshan, nutrient absorption, right? And then for photosynthesis, nutrient absorption, and as well as reproduction. Okay. So if these functions occur, plants only can do their works. Okay. So then, according to the way that we need our body parts, plants also need these parts for their functions. If you carefully observe in this diagram, you can see plants do photosynthesis, right? And it absorbing nutrients, right? It absorbs water for their growth, reproduction, and defensive mechanisms, right? So protection also need for the plants also, right? Just like us, right? So here children, why these plant parts are there for the plants, right? So for the nutrient absorption, and then for the photosynthesis, and for the reproduction. Okay. So children, by this diagram, you can get slight idea about why these plants and the parts essential for their functions. Okay. You can see, or you can get an idea about this plant functions, right? Here you can see photosynthesis, sunlight is absorbed, carbon dioxide is entering, right? And then it produces glucose, right? So then this glucose is used for the plant also, right? And then you can see that absorb water and produce nutrient is used for respiration and gaseous exchange, right? Some of the part of the produced food used for the growth, reproduction, and the defensive mechanisms. Defense means protection from outside problems. Okay? Likewise, children. Okay. So then, let's move now. These parts work together to ensure survival. Yes, very good. One of the students mentioned survival. What is survival? During the disaster, people survive. What is the meaning of survive?
Live.
Survive, yes. protect ourselves and then we lived. Actually, we confirmed the life. Okay. So here children, survival means for their frequent or maybe the continuation of their life processes, staying alive. Okay. By supporting essential process such as, okay. So here children, why these plants having these parts, right? For what we discuss now? For nutrient absorption, right? I have mentioned in my tune in the page number 5. If you turn, you can write down nutrient absorption. Poshaka avashoshan. Nutrient absorption. Absorption. Right? The next one, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Right? The third one we discuss reproduction. 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 These are the basic three functions why these parts of the plant needed for the survivability of the plants. Right? So these are the basic three functions or essential processes that required for plants for the survival. ශාකවල පැවැත්ම සඳහා අවශ්‍ය ප්‍රධාන කාර්ය තුන පෝෂක අවශෝෂණය, ප්‍රභා සංශ්ලේෂණය සහ ප්‍රජනනය. මේ කියන තුන කරගන්න තමයි plants වලට අර කියපු කොටස් ටික තිබ්බේ. Right? That's what we have discussed. Okay? Okay, children. Finished? Did you write?
Yes, madam.
Okay, so then we shall move with the next.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, good. Right. Right, okay. So children, now we are going to discuss one by one what are the function of these parts of the flowering plant. Okay, right. So children, here children, basically flowers needed for the reproduction of the plant, right? This is the reproductive unit of the plant. Okay. So children, these flowers produce male and female gametes, right? male and female gametes. What is that? Okay. Children, keep it in your mind. Flower is the unit responsible for the sexual reproduction of the plant. Okay, children. So here, children, for the sexual reproduction, it requires male and female gametes and the production. Okay. ශාකවල පුෂ්ප තියෙන්නේ ප්‍රජනනය සඳහා. Right? So then, children, these plants bearing male and female parts of the flower. Okay, these plants and the flowers are bearing male and female parts, and then these are producing gametes. Right? Right? So here there are male gametes and female gametes. Right? So here, children, for the sexual reproduction, these gametes should fuse with each other. That is bit of advance. Okay. But for this instance, you had better to keep that flower is the male reproductive unit of the flowering plant. Right? Here, this flower is producing male and female gametes. Right? Emanamada. Gametes means in Sinhala Bijanu. Right? Okay. So here Purusha Bijanu saha Stri Bijanu. Male gametes and female gametes are there in flowers in the plant. Okay. I told you flower is the male reproductive unit of the flowering plant. It contains male and female gamete producing units. Okay, so when we are discussing about the parts of a flower, I'll tell you what is male part which responsible for generation or the production or the formation of the male gametes, and what is the female part for the forming female gametes, right? Okay, මම ඔයගලන්ට කියන්නම් මලක කොටස් කියන කොටසේදී under the parts of a flower, what are male gametes and what are female gametes, right? පුරුෂ ජන්මාණු සහ ස්ත්‍රී ජන්මාණු කියන එක මලක කොටස් කතා කරද්දී කියලා දෙන්න. Okay? Right. So here, children, pollination. I hope that you know the pollination. Right? Okay, pollination, you know, insects, wind, right? And water. Through that, male gametes and male gametes can be transported from one flower to another flower through insect, water, or wind. Right? So here, pollination can be done by the flowers. Right? By attracting pollinators like insects. Right? Pollination in Sinhala we call it as Paraganaya. Paraganaya. Right? So here from one flower to another flower, the gametes are taken. Right? Okay. So then, children, flowers can attract pollinators. Pollinators, you know, insects, birds, butterflies, right? They just keeping their legs on the flower and bringing those gametes into another flower, right? So children, I'll discuss what is called as pollination also. Paragane කියන එක ගැන අපි කතා කරමු. Okay, so now we have started to discuss these flowers, no? Right? Okay. Seed and fruit formation. So after the pollination of these flowers, fruit producing plants, fruit forming plants are going to develop this flower into future fruit and seeds. Okay. මං කිව්වා හැම ගහකම මල තිබුණට ගෙඩි හැදෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? So then children, only the plants which forming fruits. Once this flower is pollinated, after the fertilization, it becomes a fruit in the future. Right? නේද? එකමලක තියෙන female gametes අරගෙන කොහේ හරි female part එකකට වුණාට පස්සේ through the pollinators, by the process of pollination, after some time that flower convert into fruit included seeds. Okay, right. So children, only the fruit forming plants it occurs. Okay, right. So children, what is the main function of flowers? Children, if you observe in your tune, I have given space to write the function of flowers, right? So here we can write down, okay? You can write down attracts, attract insects, for pollination,
Teacher, when is the class going to end?
Wait, class is going to be in, right, after writing this, right? ඔයාලට class එක 4:30 ඉවර වෙනවා. ඔයගලන්ට සඳුදාත් class එක කියන්නේ ඔයාලා කැමති නම් ඔයාලගේ කාට හරි ඉදිරියට එන්න බැරි නම්, if you unable to join Sunday class, you can join Monday class also, right? Monday ඔයගලන්ට වෙලාවල් ටික අපි දාන්නම්. කැමති කෙනෙක්ට දෙකටම ඇවිල්ලා මේකෙදි නොතේරිච්ච දෙයක් ඒකෙදි අහගන්නත් පුළුවන්. Okay, you can listen both. You can join both, right? අපි 1 hour and 30 minutes තමයි grade 7 onwards කරන්නේ. Okay, so children, tomorrow also we have another group going to join with this grade 7 session. Okay, ඔයාලගේ යාළුවෝ ඉන්නවා නම් එන්න ආසාවෙන් ඉන්නවා නම් එයාලට Sunday එන්න බැයි නම් Monday එන්න පණිවිඩයක් දෙන්න. Okay, tomorrow also we are going to this same lesson, right? Discuss the same lesson. If you couldn't identify or if you couldn't understand anything, you can log into the tomorrow session also and then just listen, right? අද ඔයාලට මොනවා හරි දෙයක් තේරුම් නැත්නම් ඔයාලට පුළුවන් Monday එකටත් join වෙන්න. හැබැයි තේරුණා නම් ආයෙ log වෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. අපේ දෙවෙනි කණ්ඩායම අපි හෙට නැවත මේ lesson එකම කරනවා. Okay? එතකොට 1 hour and 30 minutes තමයි class එක තියෙන්නේ. 1 hour and 30 minutes our class will be conducted. Okay, right. So then children, after this discussion or after writing this, your class will be finished. Okay, right. Attract insect for the pollination for sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction. Reproduction.
Teacher, what is the page number?
Here page number 5. 5 under the flowers. පිටු අංක 5 flowers යටතේ තමයි මේ function එක ලියා ගන්න ඕනේ. For reproduction, sexual reproduction and fruit formation. Okay. Right. Today only we discuss the function of flowers. අපි අද මෙතනට වෙනකම් විතරයි කතා කරන්නේ, right? And other thing is that children, our new grade 6 class, අපේ අලුත් grade 6 එක ඔයාලගේ නංගිලා මල්ලිලා ඉන්නවා නම් those who are ready for the new module, right? We have started new classes, right? So through the activity based learning. Okay. So children, if you have your brothers or sisters, ask them to join with our grade 6 classes. Okay. Right. So then that is also kind of interesting group of students for the new grade 6. Okay. Right. So did you write down this function of flowers? චුට්ටක් ඉඩ manage කරගන්න, right? Manage the space that I have given in your tune, page number 5, under the function of flowers. Okay, children. Finish?
Yes, madam. Yes,
Oh.
madam.
Okay. Right. Seems that you no need more time, right? Okay. Our second group will be started tomorrow, right? Date and the time will be put it into the group, right? Most probably evening session. Okay. So children, if you couldn't catch anything from this session, I wish to join with that session also. මේ lesson එකමයි කරන්නේ. ඔයාලට මොනවා හරි තේරිච්ච නැති දෙයක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒක අල්ලගන්න ඔයාලට free join වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒ group එකට. Right? Okay, ඒකටත් ඇවිල්ලා join වෙලා අහගෙන ඉන්න පුළුවන්. Okay? Right. So children, so then I hope that you are finished. Okay? Right. I'm going to now wind up here for a while. So then, thank you for logging. Have a nice week. Stay safe. Goodbye. And have a nice week. So then, bye.
Bye, teacher. Good night. Bye, teacher. Good night.
Okay. Bye.
Teacher, bye. Have a nice day, teacher.